What's good, everyone? It's the one and only NY Phenom. If you guys enjoy NFL, NBA content, want to see some more gaming content soon, give this video a like, and if you're new, go and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. Now, let's get into this video. Listen, let's start us off right. Let's say shout out to Drew Brees, man. Shout out Drew Brees. He got it done, broke the record. Most passing touchdowns of all time, breaking Peyton Manning. Let's give a hand clap to him, man. Shout out to Drew Brees, man. One of the best quarterbacks of all time. If you ask me personally, is he the greatest quarterback of all time? I know he's been called the GOAT by a few people from last night and earlier this morning. However, I think Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Joe Montana are just a class of their own. However, that's just my opinion. However, what a great performance. 309 yards, 4 TDs, 29 for 30. What's the completion percentage? Like 96%, 96.5. I mean, that's just ridiculous. You know, it's just another Monday night football showing for Drew Brees where he just shows out. I mean, Monday night should be called the Drew Brees show. I mean, for real. Last year breaking the record, all the Monday night performances he's had in the past of just putting up 40, 50 points. I mean, Monday Night Football should literally be called the Drew Brees show. For you guys who watch wrestling and watch WWE, we know how we call HBK, Shawn Michaels, Mr. WrestleMania. We gotta call Drew Brees Mr. Monday Night Football. He's done this throughout his entire career. And, you know, he's just proven that he's definitely by far the best Monday Night Football player of all time. I mean, there really is no competition for that. However, for the game itself, Michael Thomas is unstoppable. Saints just controlled the game from beginning to end. Offensive side, defensive side, dominated. And I didn't make a video about Janoris Jenkins being signed, but what a great pickup. What a great pickup. Now, you know, if you ask me, I don't think the Saints secondary is actually that bad. I think a lot of people really just seen them struggle the past few weeks. I mean, certain players like Eli Apple and PJ Williams, they're in the funk right now. But overall, we've seen both of them, especially Eli Apple, play really well throughout the season. But right now they're struggling. And number one corner is on the free agency. He's on the free agency waivers. And if you have a chance to possibly get a number one corner, because believe me, Giants fans, I'm around a lot of Giants fans and I watch a lot of Giants games. Janoris Jenkins has been a number one corner for most of his career, pretty much all of his career. And he hasn't had the best season. However, he did play in that disgrace of a Giants organization, so you're not going to really see the best of any player. I mean, hell, Saquon Barkley didn't look good at all this year. And that's Saquon, the best running back prospect of probably all time. So, you know, overall, adding somebody like that, whether he starts or not, or whether if he's just depth, just in case if there's an injury or not, great pickup. I would say one thing, though, as far as the Saints, I think it would have been great if they could have signed someone like a T-Sizzle, Terrell Suggs, with the injuries they are dealing with on the D-line. Just someone to edge the passer, you know, just bring some pressure on the edge, stop the run, get some pressure on the quarterback. I mean, that's what they really could have used. However, that's how the waivers work. Whoever team falls in line who wants to play it gets the player, and that was the Kansas City Chiefs this time. But however, great pickup for the Saints to get Janoris Jenkins, and overall, what a great game. I hear some people talking about Jacoby Brissett just bashing his name like he's not a good quarterback. Can we chill out? Jacoby Brissett has had a really solid season this year. Has some big time wins. You know, early in the season, had a few big-time wins against the Titans, had a big-time win against the Broncos. He's had some really big-time wins and some really good plays and had just a really solid season. And for the fact of him not knowing that he was going to be the starter and the face of the franchise this year, and be able to have a quality season this shows that he can be a really solid quarterback. I mean, people, and especially Colts fans, are just trashing this guy, expecting him to, just ball out like he's Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or something. Like, Brissett, this is technically, well, his second year because he started pretty much the entire 2017 season. But in my opinion, he's played solid. He had a bad game against the Saints, but he went into the dome of death. It was a dome of death on Monday night. Like, what you expect? Not that many quarterbacks make it alive in the dome, and especially on the Monday night. So, it is really not that much to blame on Brissett. He had a bad game, of course. He had a really bad game, missed a few passes. But, overall, I mean, I can't trash a player for just being in a slump. And a lot of his offensive weapons are out. Funches, T.Y. Hilton was banged up. Paris Campbell, the rookie who a lot of people projected to be a really good instant player in the slot, has been injured all season. Eric Ebron is out. I mean, come on now. I know that offensive line is one of the best in the NFL, but come on now. You got to have some weapons. Running game didn't have that much success last night, and, this is what it is. But overall, let's get to the other games. Just can't speak about Monday night all game. Let's talk about my Seahawks, man. Shout out to my Hawks, man. Number one seed in the entire conference, man. In the entire conference, we're the number one seed. If the playoffs started tomorrow, everybody would have to go to the 12th man. And for you guys who don't keep up with the Seahawks and don't know us like that, every time we locked up the number one seed in the conference, and teams had to go through the 12, through the NFC playoffs, we zoom straight to the Super Bowl. It's just what we do. So the number one seed is key, and we'll see how it plays out. We just control our own destiny. Right now the Packers are 2, Saints are 3. We just got one out, man. We got beat the Cardinals next week. They came off a big one against the Browns, and of course, that key Monday night game against the 49ers, biggest game of the year. But before we get there, you got to beat the Cardinals. Can't overlook that game. And overall, I'm liking what I'm seeing from my Hawks, man. It's not the prettiest of wins, however, we're getting things done. Chris Carson's getting going to running game. We're gonna need full-out Chris Carson with Rashad Penny being out, okay? Chris Carson's going to get 25, 30 carries. I know we got CJ Prosise in there trying to switch it up a bit, but at the end of the day, Chris Carson's going to be key. Offensive line, I think, is starting to get in the groove a bit. I got this entire individual video for Josh Gordon. I'm not going to really speak about that right now. I had to, control my emotions and thoughts before I made that video. That video is going to drop soon, but I got my own video about that. Overall, anyway, we still got Tyler Lockett, still got DK. Malik Turner is, he's developing week by week, and David Moore has shown that he can be solid. And if you ask me, there's still a few receivers out there in the open market who I think can come in and make a immediate impact. Michael Crabtree, he's still a free agent. I think he can come in and be solid. Dez Bryant, I like to have Dez Bryant. He has a similar belt to Josh Gordon in catching traffic and be good on third down in the slot. I wouldn't mind having Dez Bryant. However, the player I really want, and y'all can give me all type of backlash, I don't care. I want the best receiver this decade to team up with Russell Wilson. I'm tired of all the teasing that's been happening for like the past year of trying to get AB. I really want AB on the team. I want to see AB in green and blue. I got to see it. I have to see it. I have to see him in the 12th man. To have AB on one side, have DK on the other side, have Tyler Lockett back in the slot, run that 11 personnel. Oh my goodness. Could you imagine it? Could you imagine it? I know we had Doug Baldwin in the past, Sidney Rice, Percy Harvin. We had a good amount of receivers, some good top tier receivers, Golden Tate. We had some pretty good receivers in the past, but we had never seen anything like AB, ever. To the best receiver of the decade, who can just create separation in a split of a second, catch anything in front of him, catching traffic. I mean, that would be a match made in heaven. Defense is starting to play well. I know the Carolina Panthers, although like the game was, looking closer than what it was. The game wasn't as close as it looked, okay? It wasn't a 30 or 24 game. Scored a few garbage time touchdowns. I mean, it makes the game look closer than what it was. However, defense played well, in my opinion. We just got to stay healthy, man. Bobby Wagner got injured during the late in the game. Hopefully that was just something minor. Quantrell Diggs is still out. Clowney, Zeke Ansah, Michael Kendricks all dealing with illness. Clowney and Michael Kendrick both missed the game last week. I mean, so as long as you can, get healthy going into the playoffs, I feel good. It's all about locking up that number one seed, at least in the West. Okay, I think if the tiebreaker happens, let's say the Saints went out, I'm pretty sure they will be the number one seed. It depends on what happens with the Packers, because if the Packers went out, they'll be the second seed. I don't know. Everything is close. So I think the best thing for us, I believe, is if we win out, that's first things first. We got to win out in these last two games. And we need the Packers to beat the Vikings and the Lions. That's it. If we can handle those two things, the NFC runs through us. Because the Packers will be the number 2 seed, how it is, and we'll still be the number 1 seed. That would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. All right, let's get to other games now. Let's get to the other games. Shout out to the Texans. Deshaun Watson getting things done. Hopkins balling. Carlos Hyde's a beast, man. This is maybe Carlos Hyde's best season. I mean, he had a few good years in San Fran, but if you ask me, Carlos Hyde, I mean, he's just playing out his mind, running the ball really well. 26 carries, 104 yards in the top. I'm surprised about this Texans defense, man. They're playing with a lot of energy, man. This is my thing with the Texans. I don't know how to predict this team. Defense shows up, offense shows up on the road against the Titans, where the Titans had all the momentum. And then the Texans show up and win a big game. But then you lose to the Broncos a week before. I don't know how to predict this team. That's not what you really want to see from a playoff team going late in the season. However, I will say this. The Texans defense has improved a lot. I forget that linebacker's name, but man, he flies all around the field. I like DJ Reader game. Secondary starting to step up. Justin Reed and the crew. I'm liking what I'm seeing on the defensive side, and listen, it's not out the realm of possibility that J.J. Watt doesn't make a return. We know that he dealt with the torn pec, but hey, it's not out the realm of possibility. There's a lot of talk saying that come playoff time, number 99 might be out there. So that could be huge. We'll see how the Texans finish it off, because they still got to play the Titans one more time back at home, and they got another game in between that. Forget who they play, but got to finish it off strong. We'll see how it plays out. Overall for the Titans, it is what it is, man. Y'all were the hottest team in the league. Few bad turnovers, and it just is what it is. But they'll get their rematch. We'll see how it plays out. But big win for the Texans. Speaking about the Thursday night game, Ravens and Jets, not going to really speak about that too much. Listen, Lamar Jackson's the truth. And as a Seahawks fan, I'll finally pull my pants down, pull the panties down, and give it to him. I'll give it to Lamar Jackson, man. He's the MVP. I'm not going to even debate it. He's the MVP, and at this point, I don't even care anymore. I don't care. You can have the MVP. Lamar Jackson's had a great season, 1,000 yards rushing, leading the league in passing touchdowns. I mean, there's really nothing to speak about. All the momentum is with the Ravens. They're the hottest team in the league, no doubt. Probably the best team at the moment. However, we'll see how it plays out. I'm more worried about the Super Bowl MVP. Russell Wilson with the Super Bowl MVP, in my opinion, is a lot sweeter than the league MVP. So shout out to Lamar Jackson and the crew. Just overall, man, the Ravens, they're dominant. And you gotta show them some love. Patriots and Bengals, really not going to speak about that game. We know all about the scandals that's been going on with the Patriots. I meant to cover a video about that. Just been pretty busy, finals and shit. Overall, man, it is what it is. We shouldn't really be surprised at this point when we hear about scandals when it comes to the Patriots. We know what it's about. We know what the Patriots are. It is what it is. Overall, though, it's the Bengals, man. It's the Bengals. You go on the road, you beat the Bengals. Salute to you, but you don't really earn stripes for that. But at the end of the day, Patriots get a win that they, need a win. You gotta beat bad teams, and we'll see how it plays out. But the Patriots, they got a big game coming up against the Bills. Really wanted to see that game. I wanted to see that game. That's going to show me a lot about the Patriots going to the playoffs. If they can win that game, I'll have some more confidence from this team going into the playoffs. Packers and Bears, listen, pretty solid game. Packers pretty much controlled the entire game, though. That's my thing. And listen, shout out to the Packers with the win. The Bears, they try to fight back, and they almost had a chance to win the game with the lateral. However, it is what it is. Packers controlled the game from beginning to end. And listen, I gotta give the Packers some credit. As a Seahawks fan, I want my Seahawks to win it, and I believe that my Seahawks can win the NFC. I believe that we can go all the way to the Super Bowl and win it. However, I'm not sure why people are underrating the Packers and not showing them any love. Like, this is not a real contending team. I hear people talk about the 49ers, the Saints, and my Hawks are just the top 3 teams, no doubt, in the NFC. However, why are people not showing love to the Packers like the Packers aren't legit? Why are people not talking about the Packers like how they should be? The Packers, listen, for the past decade, we've been talking about if only Aaron Rodgers could have a defense, how special would it be? If only Aaron Rodgers could have just a sustainable defense that can do their job, how good would Aaron Rodgers be? You know what Aaron Rodgers finally has that people aren't really talking about just because of a few bad games they had? It's a defense. Do you guys not see the Smith brothers? Do you guys not see Sedarius and Preston Smith attacking the edge? Do you not see Kenny Clark being the beast up the middle? You got Blake Martinez, Jared Alexander, one of the best corners in the league, Adrian Amos. They drafted Darnell Savage. You got 2 good safeties out there. This is the best defense Aaron Rodgers has ever played with, and I think a lot of people are underestimating that. And Aaron Rodgers, at the end of the day, you can talk about his struggles and how he's not been he hasn't looked like prime Aaron Rodgers or anything like that. However, it's still Aaron Rodgers. And people can't tell me that they want to see their favorite team travel to Lambeau with the Packers defense that they have facing Aaron Rodgers. And it's not like the Packers don't have any weapons. The running game is legit. People need to start showing Aaron Jones some more love. He's the top 10 running back at the moment. Devontae Adams, one of the best receivers in the game. The tight end group is solid, not anything spectacular. Jimmy Graham, he is what he is at the moment. A solid tight end. You got JaMychal Green. All right, that's that right? I think I said, no. What's his name? Mercedes Lewis. So what the fuck I'm talking about? I'm talking about NBA. That's much Michael Green. Anyway, you got Mercedes Lewis, Robert Tonyan. Maybe MVS can step up come playoff time. It is what it is. You got Allison, Kumarov. They could use a number 2 weapon. I think that's what's really missing from this offense. A lot of people are talking about they do too much play action, this, that, and the third, and that they should run more shotgun and just let Aaron Rodgers air it out like that. You can run a little bit more aired out offense with this team. I guess I'll be cool with that. However, the real thing that's missing with this offense is a number 2 receiver option. They need a Dez Bryant. They need the AB. Okay? In my opinion, If I was the Packers, I would have done anything to get Emmanuel Sanders. I'm gonna be real. Um, I think that would have been a great pickup for the Packers if they would have got Emmanuel Sanders or AJ Green or just a superstar receiver besides Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is amazing. However, it wouldn't hurt to have another superstar receiver beside him. That's just my thoughts. Falcons and 49ers. Listen, man. The Falcons, man. How'd that happen, Niners Nation? I'll talk all that smack to Seahawks fans. Cause it C chokes, this, that, always talking about why we didn't run it, this, and that. What happened? What happens, Niner Nation? Y'all call us frauds. Y'all call us frauds. We didn't lose to the Falcons. We didn't lose to the Falcons when we played them. And we went to Atlanta and we beat the Falcons. They went into Niners Nation. They went into Leaville Stadium and got it done in your home crowd. You don't hit me up with this Richard Sherman was injured and D Ford and we're missing our center, Richburg, and we still missing Tart and we're just not healthy. I don't want to hear it. Every team that's contending for the NFC is dealing with injuries at the moment. So I don't want to hear it. I know DJ Jones is injured. I don't want to hear it. Y'all supposed to be the better team. Y'all supposed to be the best team. That's all I hear about. All I hear is about Niners Nation. Jimmy G is elite. Running game. George Kittle. Emmanuel Sanders. Deebo Samuel. This defense is electric. Nick Bosa. Whoa. Didn't hear none of that. All game. Matt Ryan sliced you guys up. Shout out to Julio Jones, man. Julio Jones is really showing that we can't count him out at the best receiver category, man. He's still putting up, still doing big things, man. And shout out to that Falcons defense, man. You know, making it tough for Jimmy G. Jimmy G was feeling the pressure all game. Stopped the running game. Rasheed Monster only had 54 yards. George Kittle had 13 catches for 134 yards. That's cool, but no touchdowns. So, was it really worth it? You know, listen, man. 49ers were a big loss. In my opinion, you guys needed to win out. Because my thing is, you guys are not going to beat us in the 12th minute. Let's get that 100% correct. You guys are not coming to Seattle and beating us last game of the year. So you guys better hope that we slip up on the Cardinals and we just bug out and we just, we party all night the night before and just hope that we don't show up versus the Arizona Cardinals. Because once we show up against the Arizona Cardinals, lay the smackdown on Kyler Murray and the crew, we're going to lay the smackdown on Jimmy G and the dirty 49ers. So it is what it is. Shout out to the Falcons, man. You're in my good graces right now. I'm not going to make any 28-3 jokes at the moment, at least at the moment. I might after the season, but anyway, shout out to the Falcons, man. Much love. Let's finish it off with the Cowboys and Rams. Listen, man. It's just not y'all. It's not y'all year, LA. Listen, the Rams, just not the year. Todd Gurley, 11 carries for 20 yards. I mean, you guys need more. You guys need more than that. I know you guys were down early, so you guys had to pass the ball all around the field. However, this is just not the same explosive offense. I told people this entire year, this offense does not run through Jared Goff. It doesn't run through Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods and the crew. This offense runs through Todd Gurley. Play action. That's what made the Rams dangerous all year. You see what the 49ers are doing? How they're playing with the play action? That was the Rams last year. You had the superstar Pro Bowler, all-pro running back in Todd Gurley, who literally was the main focus on the offense, and that freed everybody else up. This is not the same offense from last year. The defense is not the same because they're dealing with injuries. There's no more Talib and Peters. No more Sue. This secondary is banged up. I know Taylor Rapp is been playing solid. However, he's not John Johnson. So overall, this Rams team is not making the playoffs. And I want to know how you guys feel. Because ever since I said you guys were going to go 10-6, and I told you guys that you guys weren't going to be the same dominant team that y'all were last year, y'all clown me. Y'all were like, you're just a Rams hater, Rams house. The Seahawks ain't shit. Well, who really isn't shit? Seahawks and 49ers both clinch playoff berths this week. What you guys doing? You guys are hoping that you guys can win out, and teams like the Vikings just lose out. And I got something to say. Don't the Vikings play? Well, it's Kirk Cousins. You can't ever rule it out. However, you guys are hoping and praying that Kirk Cousins doesn't win Monday night. And I'm hoping that you lose the following week when he plays the Bears. That's what your destiny is at the moment. You guys don't control your own destiny. You guys, are hoping that the Vikings lose out. As far as the game though, like I said, the Cowboys, they controlled the game from beginning to end. Shout out to the Cowboys finally running the ball. I mean, where has this been at all year? The Cowboys finally want to run the ball. Ezekiel Elliott, 24 carries, 117 yards, 2 tubs, balling. Tony Pollard even got some of the action, 12 carries on 131 yards. Tavon Austin getting loose. Jason Witten, one-hand catches, balling. I mean, listen, I say this all the time. The Cowboys, the worst thing as an NFC contender, for any of us that are NFC fans of NFC teams are going to be competing in the playoffs, the worst thing that we want to see is a hot Cowboys team. It might sound funny and crazy, like, why are you worried about the Cowboys? They're 7-7. People forget going into this year how we talked about the Cowboys being one of the most talented teams in the NFL. And let me be real, this team is still one of the most talented teams in the NFL. Yes, they're dealing with issues from the top of the office, from coaching. However, you still got the talent on both sides of the field. One of the best offensive lines. They haven't really dealt with that many big injuries. I mean, besides Terrence Crawford getting injured, what's a really big injury on this team? So, and they replaced Terrence Crawford with Michael Bennett. So that kind of X everything out when it comes to that on the defensive line. So you still got this talented team on both sides of the field. If this defense is going to keep on bringing that energy, if the offense wants to keep running the ball, playing like that, Cooper, Randall Cobb, Gallup, Jason Witten, Tavon Austin getting busy. I mean, this is a really scary team. This is. So shout out to the Cowboys finally getting their win, a desperate win. And shout out to Jason Garrett, man. Some great coaching out there. But that's pretty much it, man. This video has went on way too long. I try not to make these recaps too long, but it is what it is. Any games I forgot speaking about, Bills and Steelers, good game. Just the Bills, they got it done at the end, and we see the importance of a good quarterback at the end of the day. Hodges, I'm not gonna call him a bum. He's been playing better than Mason Rudolph. However, they're not Big Ben. So that's that. As far as other games, shout out to the Eagles. That game was way too close anyway. Shout out to Eli Manning. Jameis Winston, probably make a separate video about that, man. Jameis Winston, he's really about to earn another contract. Shout out to Jameis Winston, man. This guy is playing out of his mind. I'm not sure why he's not getting as much press about it. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna do my due diligence and talk about it. Raiders Nation, what a way to end things in Oakland, man. Yeah, that's pretty sad. However, that's what I really got to speak about. If I miss any games, it is what it is. Like I said, these videos, I try to make them 15 minutes, and I bet you this video is probably already at 30 minutes. That's it. That's all. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm the phenomenal one, and I'm out. Deuces.